Welcome to the Bathing Evolved podcast. I'm your host, Kayley, and here we talk all things wellness, biohacking, bathing. Today's guest is Bob Linville, and we'll be talking about stress reduction and sleep and some of the protocols he does for biohacking, wellness, and all that fun stuff. One thing we were talking about before that we might want to start off with is light. We were talking about how we get our studio set up and what types of lighting we're using. So Bob is using the red light and I'm using the opposite kind of light. I'm using a blue light that is a phototherapy light, and it is supposed to help produce vitamin D. And in these winter months, it can be hard to get vitamin D because I'm here in Pennsylvania and we don't go outside, for an hour a day to get, or even 15 minutes some days to get all the vitamin D we need. So these types of lights, they help the studio quality, but they're also beneficial in helping produce vitamin D. Bob, will you tell us about your light and also what your glasses may be doing and helping you with?
Sure. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to see you, and you're doing a great job on your second podcast. You said I've never done a podcast before, done little team meetings and stuff, but your light environment is something that you don't really think of as far as when you come indoors, but it's all about protecting your energy, and that's what the blue blockers are when I'm using the computer screens or phones. It really, you get a lot of mitochondria in your eyeballs, believe it or not. So protecting your energy is important. I've got one on my little computer screen here that I picked up that kind of adds some extra red light. I've got night lights around the house, so when I get up in the middle of the night, go downstairs to check on the dog or something, I've got the little red night light. So all those things will, during the day, you get a little blue light in, it's good for you. Yeah, you want to that's why these blue blockers are not the orange or the red version. They're just to block some of the blue lights. You're not getting inundated with it, but it's something that you feel better for when I wear these, because I go to work and I work under a lot of fluorescent lights and I get in front of computer screens. So when I don't wear them, I'm usually dragging a little bit more. So I feel a lot better, have more energy. And with a 7-year-old at home, that's important to bring the energy at the end of the day, because she wants to run and go play. And that's important to me to be able to do that. So, but as far as the lights go, I mean, I just picked up this new little portable light that I was earlier putting on my shoulder. I mean, I've got a big panel that I stand in front of. I've had red lights for like 5 years. I'm 52 years young, but I've kind of, the ATP from standing in front of the light, the circulation, all the benefits of red light therapy. So it's kind of just, I haven't gotten too crazy where I have light bulbs that have changed around the house, because my wife goes, wait a second, what are we doing here? But we do our best, right? So that's all we can do is do the best that we can. And hopefully I see the difference. So it's just a matter of having the other people in my family go, oh my God, I feel better when I'm, they're embracing it. So.
Yeah. A lot of the key to health and wellness is the blood flow. I've learned that headaches can be helped by blood flow, circulation, nitric oxide production. A lot of people have troubles with their limbs when there's not optimal blood flow, and that's something red light therapy really can help with. And I think that's why people, they heal faster from red light therapy, like wound healing, especially more of the muscle part, muscle healing, myofascial healing. A lot of that can be attributed to the light's effect on blood flow. And it makes sense because I believe that a lot of things like helps with like. So red light with the blood cells, they're both red. And a lot of those things in food and in nutrition, it's the same too. Red foods help with the cardiovascular system. So it's interesting how deep and complex wellness and health can be with the molecular biology and biochemistry, but it can be so simple too. It's like, oh, this is red, or this food is shaped kind of like a heart, so it'll help my heart and help with my blood. That's really interesting. Yeah,
You make
tell
a good
us
point.
more about yourself. Okay,
Okay.
sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say you make a good point, because we can definitely complicate it and get into the woo woo and this study and that study, and people, it goes right over people's heads. So a lot of the times I love to just try to break it down, make it simple. And then if people ask more questions, then you can get more involved. But the more, keep it simple. Red light helps with this, and this, and I feel great. You should try it and see how you feel. Right. So, and that's people, the ones that want more will get more. But so, yeah, thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm 52 years young, as I say, and I say that I feel like I'm 18 now. So the things I've been doing over the last 5-6 years, ever since I left this company that was a natural foods and organic grocery store that I was working for, I left. And then when I left, I started implementing some of the things that I should have been doing when I was there. And currently I'm back at Ralph's Grocery Company in the meat and seafood side. But started off with a cup of coffee that we did at Lassen's called Bulletproof. A lot of people started that. I mean, I just drink that. I never drank coffee in my whole life. And I had this cup of coffee where I wasn't hungry anymore. It was crazy. And I started losing all this weight. And so then you start going down different rabbit holes. Went to a Bulletproof conference, reading a lot of books. And then suddenly, you just get, I eat, sleep, drink. I mean, I've got all these books here, and I'm, always looking to, just to feel, because I felt better at the time. Right. So then as I evolved and went down some different rabbit holes, I realized that I like protein and carbs together. I feel the best that way. Did I add a few pounds back? Yes. But with keto, I was like super, super lean. My wife started saying, hey, you need to put more deodorant on. You got to smell, she was giving me all this funny stuff. But in the end, it set me on this journey. I'm thankful for that cup of coffee with butter, because I still have that cup of coffee, but I add a little sugar in and I add a few extra things. I mean, my coffee is like a chemistry kind of thing. I'll add different things in. I can't just have regular black and sugar. I want to level it up, whether I'm putting raw milk in it or colostrum or pine pollen. I mean, I'll add all those things in, blend it in, and it's a fun way to get your brain going in the morning, and then you start your day. But that's kind of what led me down this path. And again, now it's kind of like a passion where I really want to continue to learn and listen to both sides. I mean, I think that's the beauty of it, is that you can, not everybody's right. Not everybody has all the pieces of the puzzle together, but you start putting together the pieces for you that you feel great with. And because we all wake up and I'm ready to go conquer the day, and everybody does that a little bit different. And so some people, we're all different, but that's kind of I've never felt better. I mean, I said that when I was on Bulletproof Coffee, but then I realized it was a little bit stressful, not really great on your liver, doing ketosis and having that OMAD 1 meal a day program. So yeah, I think keeping it simple, get the movement going, protect your light environment, eat as clean as you can, and don't stress out. I mean, there's a lot of things you can get distracted by, news and television and stuff. I think that I pretty much have a good attitude and I'm positive anyhow, but I've come across people that I've shared different things with, and now they're doing some supplementation and they're feeling good. So that's always, I think that's the best part of it, is being able to help other people. And I'm not a doctor and I'm not doing anything, but just, hey, try this, try that. And then see how, and some come back and go, oh my God, that was awesome. Let me, then they get a little bit, everybody has to find their own way. Right. So that's kind of how I've gotten into it over the last 6 years. And, but I've been doing crazier stuff prior to that. I mean, as far as running, exercising, when I worked in Malibu on the beach, I was down to like 190 pounds, super lean, but it wasn't sustainable to get out and run 4, 5, 6 miles every single day or go to the gym twice a day. I mean, that was kind of, so you have to find what works for you and find that balance. I think that's what I'm all about, is not beating myself up because I didn't go on my 4-mile walk today, which I will do, but that type of thing. You got to it's all about balance and doing the best you can.
Yeah, I definitely relate with your testimony. I was into keto and the bulletproof coffee. It helped me a lot at work, but it also made me feel very stressed out, on edge. I would be more like upset with like what my, even though I had a boss who was a jerk at the time, it would bother me more. So like when people aren't, acting right or acting like kindly towards me, I can definitely take it better now that my stress levels are reduced because I'm not going into ketosis all the time or starting my day off in ketosis. I would start my day off just making black coffee with butter, and I would get so much mental work done because my job was very mental. I was a political consultant and lead designer at a graphic design consulting firm, and it was very stressful, and so it was a lot of mental work. And the coffee, especially the bulletproof coffee, and all the adrenaline that would rush to my brain from that would help for a little while, but I would get more stressed out by lunch, and I was starting to crash by the afternoon. And some of it, like the coding for the websites, would be so mind numbing by the end of the day, just because my energy levels would like spike and then I'd crash. And sometimes people attribute that to coffee in general, but I don't think that's coffee in general. I think that's when you're drinking coffee black, especially on an empty stomach. You're not putting in like the protein, like whether you're doing colostrum. I do collagen. I would like to do colostrum sometime. You're not adding in your cream or your sugar, and that really balances it out. It adds some calories to it, which makes it really beneficial. And I used to do calisthenics for an hour a day, and then I dropped down to about 78 pounds. I used to be very underweight very easily. Since becoming a mom and getting married, my weight leveled out, and I wasn't ever able to dip that low again. But I was vegan at the time, and doing so much working out that I crashed and I got adrenal fatigue. So that's how I got into health, was probably starting out like into working out, veganism, and then realizing that wasn't serving me. And I know some people feel great on that, and maybe 10 years later they'll crash. But for me, it took me about 3 months to crash from that completely, being diagnosed with chronic fatigue. And then I really got into alternative health and like the rabbit hole of the keto diet, paleo. I didn't know the difference between them at first, but I knew they were all saying sugar's bad. And so I didn't eat any refined sugar except maybe some in pastries on a rare occasion. Like I never put like sugar in my coffee. I always look for sugar alternatives when I was personally baking something. So then I found out about basically like metabolic health, and I feel like I was set free from that. And I helped some other people. Like I had a friend who was sick from a sugar-free fast. And I told her just eat cookies, and she was pregnant, and her sickness went away, her like being nauseous all the time. So this type of kind of biohacking wellness, that may be a little bit like controversial, because we know a lot of wellness advocates like totally demonize sugar. But it's been a really awesome and inspiring journey, seeing some people just totally just, they're feeling so well. They might not be like the most lean and fit. I know I've definitely gotten like some insulation, you know, I'm not cold all the time. And it is good to have some body fat, even though that can be demonized. But I think having some body fat, of course, is wellness. And it may not be, sometimes people go all over the top and go into like the, the fat activists where they say you can be 500 pounds and be healthy. I'm not saying that, but everyone should have some insulation. That's where our fat soluble vitamins store, and you know, all that good stuff. Can you tell me more about, speaking of stress and stress reduction and wellness, what is your protocol and recommendations for stress and wellness?
Okay, well, I think that foundational things that to reduce stress. I mean, if you're sleeping well, that's a key factor for like everything that you're doing. So I think that that's one of the foundational things that I've been focused on since, you know, pretty much day one. You know, things that you do prior to sleep, getting the red glasses on and before nighttime, watching the TV, trying to see the TV, or if I'm watching TV, I don't watch really that much TV, but I'm just saying that in general, that that gets your melatonin going to be able to sleep really well. But, you know, I think that the people that you hang out with and the things that you listen to or watch, your circle of friends, I mean, that could be stressful. And I mean, I get on the social media here and there and I see some stories and I want to, okay, I'm going to inquire. And then I go, whoa, X, because that you start to kind of get in a different mode of, do I really want to take this in and absorb it? But back to sleep, I think that is one of the, you know, getting a good night's sleep, waking up fresh in the morning. It can be a huge de-stress when you're able to, last night, both me and my wife were off. So we had a nice day where we went on our walk in the afternoon. She's like, can you turn the sauna on? All right. We both hit the sauna, and then I want the bath at night. So we got the magnesium, the revival bath going, and she loves that and loves the smell of it. So we were able to do that. And then, you know, we take our nighttime supplements. We get to bed at a good hour. And this morning I cause she doesn't sleep too well, kind of has, had a little insomnia and whatnot going on for a while, but she's sleeping that much better now. Sorry, my phone's ringing here. And she woke up this morning. She's like, I feel great, feel refreshed. So, just taking time for yourself, I think is super important. Self-care. We rush. She's like a total go, work. So to get her to slow down, and, you know, I go in the sauna 5 days a week, but to get her in there, it's rare, you know, to once or twice a month. So I love it when she's like, I want to go in the sauna and I want to go and take a bath. So those are things that to de-stress. Some people will read a book or get outside. I mean, how about some places you can't get outside, but over here you can still get outside barefoot, feet on the ground, soak in the sun a little bit, read a book. Those are all things that help you to, stay tapped into nature and because the world we live in now with, the phones and all the stuff, the digital age, that is stressful. So take that in doses and be able to, balance yourself, get outside, sleep well, what you're eating. I mean, the nutrition, the supplements, all that stuff will help you, be more grounded and make good decisions, really, because I think that's what it comes down to. So.
Yeah, it cut out for a little bit. I heard supplements. That's where I last heard. But that brought up the question, what supplements do you take and why?
Okay. Yeah, good question. I do, for the day in the morning, I have my Shilajit. You get your 84 carbon bonded minerals there, because I think we're all mineral depleted. We don't have enough minerals from the food that we get, so we have to add the Shilajit in. So I feel great with that. What else am I doing? I'm doing some vitamin C. lately with what's going around. I've been ramping that up a little bit because I was under the weather a little bit, and I've been extra vitamin C right now. Vitamin K, which is I haven't had to go to the dentist in a long time, so I've been doing the vitamin K. Everything on the CLF protocol is what I kind of follow. I've been feeling great with that the last 3 years. So at nighttime, the magnesium at night. Been doing some probiotics and for digestive, get a little bit of bloating here and there. So I've been trying to work on that, figure that out a little bit more. But I'm trying to think during the morning what else. Take the beef liver and some oyster desiccated capsules to get. What else? There's a couple more things, but my wife, she's on the same thing, a little bit less than what I take. My wife's cousin who lives with us, she's recently asked, so I've been she feels great, energy. So it's really cool when hey, try this out, and you give them some supplements and they try it, and they get a little more energized. And I just think it's supplements I've kind of dabbled with taking different supplements in the past and nothing at all. I think you kind of cycle through them, some of them where you stop them for a while and then I don't feel as good. Let me get back on. And then but I think that it's just trying to, again, the word balance. I love that word, trying to find the right happy balance where you're not taking like hundreds of capsules, but you're taking some just to kind of really provide your body with things that you don't get from food and to help you thrive. And I think that's kind of what I've been doing lately. So.
Yeah, they can be really fun to experiment with. And that's what I like about the biohacking approach is experimenting with what works for you and trying whether it's natural, like herbal remedies or safe synthetics like methylene blue. And I remember seeing you making those methylene blue Coca-Cola gummies one time. And I was like, oh, I've got to try those sometime. We need to stock up on our methylene blue, especially for the winter months because it's such a good antiviral. But we we have this and we drink this, and I always feel so good when I have some, the kind with the real cane sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I got that. I got
In Europe, they only have the kind with
my methylene blue here. I was going to have a blue tongue earlier, and I'm like, I think I'll be all right. I don't want to get too crazy. It's my first podcast. I don't want people to go, what the heck? He's got yellow glasses and blue tongue, right? So, but, I forgot to mention this vitamin E. I think that is the suppressed vitamin. Nobody talks about it. You go to the stores and it's on like the bottom shelf. My dad, 2.5 years ago, his head was full of lipofuscin. He has his own little IG page that I have, Grandpa on the CLF, but his head looked like a pepperoni pizza with everything on it. It was totally loaded up. So I started giving him vitamin E, a couple capsules, so 2,000 IUs. He was taking it every day. He was starting to eat some really good foods. That helped out too, eggs, butter, milk. And within a year's time, you should see his head now. Not like mine's perfect, but it's like everything went away. All the age spots went away. And I attribute that to vitamin E as something to, obviously it's good for your cardiovascular system. There's a bunch of benefits, but for lipofuscin specifically, my hands used to have a lot of dots all over them. Now I still got a few, but that's another one of the things I forgot to mention that I take on the daily, vitamin E for sure. So got to have that.
Yeah, I'm glad that Matt has, Matt from MitoLife for our listeners. I'm glad he's made the capsules smaller because I couldn't take them. It would hurt my stomach. But what I would do, because I had a few bottles of it, I would puncture a hole in it and mix it with my magnesium lotion and rub it on my belly when I was pregnant. And I got a lot of round ligament pain belly stretching pain from the pregnancy. I got so much of that when I was first pregnant, and I would eat some dark chocolate and it would go away, or any kind of cramping. But for my second pregnancy, I had zero round ligament pain because I would put magnesium lotion on my belly every day. And I think that just that was my way of supplementing. I like a multifaceted approach to supplementing magnesium because there's so many different types of magnesium that I think it's good to take all the forms.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting magnesium chloride through the lotion, and then I was taking drops in my water. And I noticed on the days that if I went like 3 days without taking my magnesium, I would get leg cramps. But the day, like, I would immediately put on my magnesium lotion and it would go away, the leg cramps, and I wouldn't get them for 2 to 3 days. So I noticed when I was doing the lotion, I was basically getting my like supplemental dose. So that was really interesting. And magnesium is really important and one of the things that most people are deficient in. What have you been doing for magnesium, and what do you think about it? How has it helped you?
Yeah, it's huge. Magnesium. It's something that 42% of all our enzymatic processes require magnesium. That's a whole heck of a lot. So started off, we use the capsules at night, but I make my own bicarbonate. I've been doing that for 3-4 years. I'll add a little bit to the water throughout the day. So my wife takes her big water bottle, and I always dunk a little bit in, get it cloudy. My daughter, who's 7, she gets some. Even my dog, I put it in the water for the dog too. But back to the magnesium. So the bicarbonate during the day, the capsules at night, and then the bath soaks. Obviously, that's been a great way. I do have this little, it's called Ease, but that's like the spray that you were talking about, that once in a while I'm at the computer, I'll spray some on my arm, rub it in. But we can't get enough magnesium. And I think that when I did my full Monty's a few months back, full Monty test, and my magnesium is at a really good level. I think they wanted over 6, and mine was at a 5.6, 6 being optimum at the top of the line. I attribute that to all 3 of those things. Bicarbonate within the water, the capsules, and then the baths that I'm doing probably 3-4 times a night. Doing bath soaks, I think, is a great way. Not everybody can do all of those, but the more that you can, again, you add it in and see how you feel. And because, I would drink too much bicarbonate, and then you kind of go, oh, all right, your body tells you that you've taken a little bit too much, but you find that balance. And I was very pleased with my results with the magnesium. I think it's all 3 of those things going. So,
Yeah, my husband gets I think he's more prone to headaches because he's just more prone to stress right now. But one thing that's important for people who are like that, who are in this extra stressful, like, period in their life, like especially adjusting to 2 kids, or anything that may be stressing them out, whether that's their job or whatever it is, I would definitely say the more magnesium, the better, unless you're going at those doses that it becomes a laxative. Obviously, not going that high, but taking it in a balanced way to match up to what you need. And so his headaches stopped when he started supplementing with magnesium. So that was amazing. We tried even pain relievers. Like, we usually don't like to go for the acetaminophen. So, and they didn't even work, but magnesium worked. So it's such a miraculous, or it's miraculous in this day and age that we're able to supplement it when it is so depleted from our soil, which, how did that all start? The depletion of magnesium and nutrients in our soil. Do you want to say something about that? And do you know, like, any ways that we can try to balance that and mitigate that?
Okay, so you're asking how did well, I mean, I think the soil quality of our soil is I'm not a scientist, and I've kind of gone down a few of those rabbit holes, but it's not great. And so the foods that are being grown in the ground, there's not a lot of nutrients, not a lot of anything in that. So it's depleted soil. So I haven't really gone in. I mean, there's different guys that are NPK fertilizers and different things that kind of messed up uh, our soil, if you will, that have caused that. But I kind of like to stay on the side of I listen to perspectives and I'll take a few notes. I don't always agree with everything they're saying, and then I kind of, all right, let's implement, let's try something. I think that's kind of when they talk about biohackers or different. I mean, everybody just tries to, all right, that's kind of what I'm always doing. All right, I see something or hear about something new, and I want to try something new. So, for instance, I did a genetic DNA test recently, and I was able to get like supplementation that was catered to me based on my genes, which is pretty amazing. And it's kind of not, people might think it's woo woo, but I'm prone to be overweight. I have gut inflammation. So all these things that I'm up against, but the gut inflammation thing, like for instance, I just started adding, it's called resistant starch. And I've never heard of that before. I'm like, oh, resistant starch, but it helps with your gut inflammation and it helps with a lot of different things. So I've been adding that into my cup of joe, like I had this morning with some of that, but, not to be off the channel, but back to, I mean, in the end, we're all kind of different. And I did the DNA test to be able to, all right, let's look at this perspective and let's get somebody to tell me that, hey, you're prone to this. It doesn't mean you're going to have that. But these are, the thing I like about it is that I've got a list of a few extra new supplements like turmeric, what is it called? Curcumin, that for inflammation that I've been starting to take that's based for me and that could potentially help me out. And I think that's what everybody needs is some kind of eventually, whether it's a blood test or a DNA test, to be able to get some customized based on your genes. And then ultimately how you feel is going to be the end, whether this worked or this made me feel different or better. But yeah, as far as the magnesium, I agree that, like you said, it's been a game changer for my family and us for sleeping. I mean, my wife every night goes, "Where's the magnesium?" Every night. It's like because she knows it works for her. And as far as the foods go, I mean, I read different things about, oh, this one has a lot of magnesium. Like I picked up some pumpkin seeds and it's got like iron and I think it has magnesium in it and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, well, how much am I really getting, taking a handful of pumpkin seeds? So you absolutely, in today's world, you have to supplement magnesium and a few other things and I've really, I mean, when I go back to Shilajit that I mentioned earlier, I've never felt more, I mean, the whole protocol for CLF, I've never felt more grounded, more focused. I'm less to anger. I mean, I'm more patient. I'm calm. People go, oh, you're really relaxed. The teacher at my daughter's school, she calls me dad. Hey, dad. She goes, well, you're one of the most patient parents and relaxed and mellow that I've ever seen. You don't get angry. And I took that as a compliment, but yeah, it's awesome. So I love feeling that way, and because I know I used to be a little bit off the cuff, be a little bit more get upset easily, and I don't do that anymore. I'm good in my skin now. So
That's really interesting. You brought up supplementing with nuts. So that's something my family does too. Have you've probably heard of Brazil nuts? They're actually very high in selenium, so we only take one of them, but they're also high in zinc too. But yeah, I like doing the Brazil nuts and the pumpkin seeds and doing a mixture of that. And especially if they're salted, it can be really good for sleep for the people who wake up a lot, getting the minerals before bed. And sprinkling some on ice cream too can also really help with sleep. And yeah, speaking of sleep, we also do red light therapy, just like you're doing. We do red light therapy before bed is our like sleep hygiene routine. And it really helps us, and it gets us ready for the night, especially to help offset the blue light of the screens. But we tend to do our blue light blocker on our phone that's like built in. And yeah, that's some of the things we do. Do you have a specific red light therapy company you like to go through, and do you have any like codes for that you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for that. I love Gembared. Gembared, and my name, Bob Linville, saves you 10% at gembared.com, I believe it is. So I've got the big panel, the overclocked panel, just picked up a small little panel, have the thing over my computer. I had the beacon light that I lent to my brother because he had a bad back. He had some back surgery. So now his wife's using it. So, because she has a bad back. So I'm like, because I was asking him, hey, you're going to give that back to me soon? He goes, oh, I'm still using it. I'm like, okay. So, but I like Gembared for the red light. I've had other brands before, but I love the transparency of Andrew at Gembared. He's got many different tests. I mean, he tests everything. He's a super smart guy, very transparent. I love that in a company that they're not going to hide behind, here's my panel and here's what it delivers. So I trust that company very much. And the quality is really good. So yeah, red light. I turn mine on at night. My daughter usually turns it on. It added to the Christmas lights in the house this year when they coming through the window. Yeah, she loves to put it on. It's kind of it becomes part of the program. You get it on and you get relaxed, and it's good light to, especially if she'll grabs like a phone or something to be looking at, and we keep it on the low settings, and we have the iris in there as well. But getting the red light just kind of, again, helps the overall circadian rhythm. So you're because you're looking at a bright light in the middle of the night, you're going to wake up and your body thinks it's in mid-noon when it's the middle of the night. So it's important to do that. So, yeah, sleep is something that I guess I've kind of found something that, I tape my mouth shut. I've been doing that for 3-4 years because that little ring on our finger, they're called the Oura ring, that measures everything. So I saw, just little things like when I started taking magnesium, the deep sleep would go up. Molecular hydrogen at one point I was using, a deep sleep went up. So you just keep trying to level it up. And mouth taping helped me to get, force. I learned how to breathe in my nose because my nose was, that's something that I probably do really good during the day. I keep my mouth shut more, breathe through my nose. When I go walking through the neighborhood too, I'll put some water in my mouth or even a piece of gum. I won't chew the gum, but I'll just kind of keep my mouth shut. I think that's important. But everything from a weighted blanket we've used before. I haven't tried to lift my bed up at an angle yet. We have a Magnetico mattress pad. We have blackout curtains, temperature low, all the things that you can do to, I've even slept in all silver clothing before just to and I did that for a couple of weeks on end to see the sleep actually improve. So there is something to, you just keep trying different things and see what you can do, every day that not going to be too crazy where I'm hanging off the ceiling or anything else. I think that you got to try to keep it but we have a program at home pretty much. So
cool. I, based on what you were saying about the weighted blanket, I was reading today about, there's this product I saw called Dreamland weighted like swaddle blankets, or they can be sleep sacks for other babies who can't be swaddled anymore. But they did clinical trials, and so they're not like weighted blankets where it's like loose, but it's like a swaddle sack that you have to zip up. And the clinical trials showed that children slept better. So I want to try one of them because there's good nights and bad nights with our 1 month old. So anything to help biohack sleep is awesome, because you're right, sleep is so foundational, and it can make a big difference in my day. If I can take a nap, if I didn't get enough sleep the night before, I'm like, I just feel so much refreshed if I get good sleep. So Yeah, that's truly foundational. And for red light, we do Therabolt, but I totally think that there is benefits to the different types of lights. For the Gamba red, you can put them wherever it stands up and it doesn't get too hot and it doesn't use as much energy. But with the infrared bulbs, the ones that get hot, that heat also has its own benefit, but it uses more energy. So I think it's good to use like a little bit of both. And depending on the situation, like if you're working like at your computer desk or office, the Gamba red would be better. But if you want to have a little sweat, like what we like to do at the end of the day, kind of sweat the stress out, sweat the toxins out. We like to do the Therabolt, and sometimes we want to put it in like a small enclosed space like our bathroom and make it into a sauna. So we
Mm.
have the Therabolt, and I have a code too. Mine is Nouveau Elan. That's Nouveauelan. And so that's good for our people who are listening who want to do the red light options. I'm glad we can offer them codes for them to try for a little discount. So
Yeah.
yeah. How long have you been doing red light therapy for?
I actually 2017 is when I picked up a Juve light at the Bulletproof conference. I actually got reeled in. Woo! They reeled me in, and they had a discount. It was super expensive, but it was cheaper at the conference. And over time, I got to kind of see how the Juve light, as far as their irradiance levels and how they advertise, one thing and it's different, whatever. But I'm not here to talk bad about anybody. But I did have that light for 4.5, 5 years. Recently, got rid of it, and I've got my the Gemba Red overclock panel, which is similar, a little bit bigger, but been doing it for 5 years. And I'd say that, I mean, the ATP, the energy, standing in front of it. I mean, I get aches and pains. Like I got my shoulder pain going right now because I've got a new pillow. It's called Pillow Cube. That's like where it kind of aligns your spine better. I've been trying different things because I sleep and then it just, my shoulder on one side, I'm a side sleeper, right? Because I can sleep on my back a little bit better now that I tape my mouth shut and I can breathe through my nose. But before, because I was a mouth breather, I wasn't sleeping that well. But yeah, the 5 years with the red light, I just, not like it's addictive, but it's just, it makes you feel relaxed. You get in front of it. I'm in front of it every day pretty much. Yeah. So, there's a ton of benefits, ton of studies and different things. And sometimes I don't go, I'll just dabble in the rabbit hole a little bit, but in the end, I just know I feel better when I get in front of the red light and intuitively. But yeah, it does help out with circulation. I am, I had at 40, I don't know why I'm talking about this publicly, but I had ED, which I started eating better. I got in front of the red light now. And, I'm, like I said, I feel like I'm 18 and, I have a lot of energy and yeah, so I'm a big fan of red light and specifically, I love Jumbo Red makes great products. There's other companies that make great products too. So find something that works for you, ask questions, and go with your gut on if you're ready to start off with something small, something like this. This is a little small one that I put over my shoulder. It's low EMF, no noise, no fans in it. You can just put it right on there. And I can work on the computer and go 10, 15 minutes right on my shoulder. And I'm already starting to feel a little bit better. I've been using it for the last week. So
Awesome. So we've talked about red light therapy for stress reduction and for, I guess we call it sleep hygiene. We've talked about supplementing, especially with magnesium. My protocol, my family's protocol personally is usually a stress relief tea. We like to go with something like honey lavender, something we've been like so addicted to lately has been just simply chamomile tea with raw milk and honey. It tastes like I can't even begin to describe. It's just the like most butteriest, sweetest, just warming, milky drink. Sometimes I make my own teas. You might be able to see up there. I make those for insomnia. I have a deeper sleep blend that's for like a stronger insomnia, and one I recommend for like pregnant women because it doesn't have mugwort in it. Mugwort is an herb that helps induce vivid dreams, but it can also be dangerous in high doses for pregnant women. I also have an anxiety ease tea. It eases anxiety, and that has passion flower and yeah, I also have an aphrodisiac, which is a mild sedative, and my tea blends just taste so good, and they feel so good when I drink them, and I feel amazing. I love working with herbs and stuff like that, and customizing blends that will help people with a problem. I sell those on my shop. And something else that we do for stress relief and sleep is bathing rituals. That's huge for us. We like to do Aztec secret bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is really detoxifying and purifying to the body. And it's just something that we just put like a tablespoon of in our bath. And I have felt it literally make my body pulsate when I put it in the bath. And yeah, I tend to sweat extra. So it's really amazing and detoxifying. Something else we like to do is the bathing evolved bath soak. When my husband first tried that, he got the best sleep he's had in his entire life. And that's like something he noticed immediately the next day because he's like your wife deals a bit with insomnia. And something else we like to do is the bathing evolved bath bomb, and those they include a lot of the supplements that we've been talking about for biohacking, wellness. Like they have vitamin C and magnesium. I wanted to ask you, how did you hear about bathing evolved?
I think through Matt Blackburn, he had posted something on one of his stories. Thanks, William David, for this. And I'm like, let me check this out. So I did. I got some. And I, too, had the same experience because the Aura Ring kind of tells every day when you're looking at it, you get your score. And I had the deep sleep just went like almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. It was something crazy that I haven't had in a long time. And the only thing I did differently was get in the bath. So I was, and I love the ingredients on there, as you mentioned. I mean, they have the niacinamide in there. I don't have the ingredient list in front of me, but it's super, super incredible ingredients. I love what they're doing. I'm excited to try the bath bomb yet. I was telling my wife last night, we got the bunch of revivals, but I said, we got to add the bomb in and do the revival together for that. And I think that thing goes around for like 20 minutes and the CO2 portion of it. But usually what I do, I got a big bag of salts. So I'll add a little of that. I'll add some sodium bicarbonate, get the water nice and full. And then I add in the revival at the end. That smell is in all the ingredients there. So it makes a kind of like a chemist, but that's like the cherry on top when I add that into the big bath. Cause, we both try to fit in our bathtub together sometimes. If she was in there last night and I was just taking buckets of the it's all about, but I'm a fan. I love it. I think that we go to get a massage, we spend good money, right? And you go do it. So if you can go, anybody can get any kind of bath salts and do their thing, but the ingredients, it's well worth it to treat yourself. And, once or twice a week, we're doing the revival in the bath water to treat ourselves, give or take. But I think that it's definitely something that we love. We just had a bunch of friends. We gave Christmas presents. We put baskets and we made with the revival salt's in there, so everybody's gonna. We're telling them how great it was. They're like, oh, we want to try it. All right, Merry Christmas. So
I have a family member who asked for the bathing evolved bath salts too for their Christmas gift, and I I got that for them, and yeah, I'm just really excited to share the love, share the bathing evolved experience, and yeah, people's see people's health and wellness, their well-being, how good they feel, how deep they can sleep, just the mineral balance they notice. I'm just excited to see that go through the roof, and
mhm.
um, just have people feel so well and so good. But yeah, it's getting to that time that we it's almost been an hour, so I just wanted to um, just have some final thoughts, final things that you wanted to talk about, things that help you with wellness, or any thoughts on bathing evolved you wanted to talk about in the last couple minutes.
Okay, well, sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me on today. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I think that um, everybody's on their own journey, and they're trying different things, and they're learning, and what's worked for me is getting some structure together. And I mean, there's things that I get the supplements out the night before, have them ready to go. Same thing with either a meal. I think you have to kind of get that structure in so you can be disciplined to where you're it's making it part of your program, right? So got to take the excuses out. We go walking tonight. It's probably going to be raining, but we're still get the umbrella out. We're going to walk our 3 miles in the neighborhood. Anything you do in life, I think that if you get some structure behind it, you set some goals of what you want to, we all have, and now it's New Year's resolutions, right? But I think that everybody's on their own journey. And I mean, my wife at the beginning, when I started this, she thought I was nuts, with red light. I brought a sauna home, and she's like, oh my God. But in time, she started to see, like, holy moly, he's got all this energy. He feels great. I was on a different level. So she starts asking, and then I'm able to say, well, what, I didn't even ask her if she wanted to try. She started asking, let me have a little of this or a little of that. So you have to wait for, because I see some people that I talk to, and they go, oh, my spouse doesn't want that, nothing to do with it or whatever. And I go, just do you, take care of you. Number one. I think that's the most important message is, find what works out for you. You can reach out for help, but focus on you, focus on your own self-care, and people will start to be curious. And some are going to ask questions because they see what you're doing and how you're feeling and the results you're getting. And then I don't push it on. No, I've learned. I mean, I got a little frustrated at the beginning because it's like my wife and I want to, but you can't change everything overnight. But now we got a lot of red lights on in the house, and we're doing different things. I mean, even my dog, I put Shilajit in her water with a little PA73 wild oregano oil, a little magnesium. And so the dog's running around with energy. We're all running around with energy. And that's what life's all about, having that energy to be able to get out in the world and be a better person and make a difference and be that good person in life, right? And feel great, right? And not trying to brag or anything like that. But people will start to ask you, and I hand out more little samples of this or that, more than you know. So, but health is wealth. That is the key. So, I think that's my message. And again, I thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. You were an awesome guest, and there's so much more that we could say. I want to have you on another time, sometime, and maybe we could focus in a bit on CLF or biohacking for kids. I think that'd be really fun. We didn't get to get too much into that on this episode, but I definitely like to invite you back on for another podcast sometime. It was really fun having this conversation, and I totally agree with you on just how well the CLF protocol makes people feel. It makes me feel, my family feel amazing, especially with the methylene blue, shilajit, magnesium, bathing, detoxing. Not talking about the kind of detoxing with people with the green juice where they, go to the bathroom all the time, but the sweating aspect and the minerals that help us naturally detox and nourishing our liver. And what Matt's doing now in his vitamin C, the bamboo silica, it's so genius. So yeah, I love all that and am excited to have you on again as a guest. So thank you so much for your time today. And yeah, we'll have you on again soon. Hope you have a great day, Bob.
Take care of yourself. Great talking to you. Have a great day yourself. Happy New Year.
Take care.